Stranded Brit passengers warned EU airport chaos will get worse as virtually empty planes take off because tourists are stuck in passport control hell. Now governments across Europe are urging airport bosses to get more staff in. Airports across Europe have been urged to draft in more passport officials amid reports the shameful flight delays to hit holidaymakers are just going to get worse. Palma Airport in Mallorca has been a particular flashpoint, with passengers posting pictures on social media of huge passport queues tailing back hundreds of meters. To make things worse, the airport expects its busiest day of the year this Saturday, with a record-breaking 190,000 passengers passing through. More than 1,100 flights are due to land on the island, many of them flying in from the UK. This summer, 18% more Germans are due to fly to the island, with a 14% increase in British visitors and 5% more Spaniards. The huge delays at European airports are a result of tighter border checks. The delays are reportedly being caused by the introduction of newly toughened and more time-consuming immigration checks. But the new scheme is causing chaos. Some passengers who managed to catch their flights, despite the long queues, claimed flights were taking off virtually empty because travelers were stuck in lines. One Briton tweeted on Tuesday, 22 people were not allowed on flight home from Barcelona airport yesterday afternoon. Plane left most empty. Security queue. And tourists have been warned that the situation could get even worse in the coming weeks, as the new regulations have not yet been fully implemented. The problem, at what is traditionally already the busiest time of the year for flights, is being made worse by a lack of border officials on the continent. An association representing airlines said queues stretching for hundreds of meters are causing passengers to miss their flights. It warned that even more shameful queues can be expected at airports including Madrid, Palma, Lisbon, Lyons, Paris-Orly, Milan, and Brussels. Some flight delays have increased by 300% in a year, it claimed. The government has now been urged to use whatever influence it can to pressure EU states to adequately staff their airports. Airlines UK, an industry body representing UK-registered carriers, said it had warned the Department for Transport, DfT, about the problem in May, although they were told by ministers the issue had eased. Tim Alderslade, the body's chief executive, said, "Clearly the situation has changed markedly as we enter peak holiday season, and it is now up to the UK government to work with industry to use whatever influence it can within the EU to persuade Schengen member states to resource their border operations properly." The EU has introduced stringent checks on travelers entering and leaving the Schengen area, the border-free travel zone made up of 26 countries. It admitted yesterday that more checks can lead to more delays and insisted that this was the price of security. Some border staff have reportedly been told to spend up to 10 minutes checking the details of each passenger during times of heightened terror threat. Passengers are not the only ones troubled by the recent delays. The Association of Spanish Airline Companies, ASITA, has expressed its concern over the hold-ups. In a statement, the organization called for measures to avoid the situation getting worse as soon as possible, particularly as passenger numbers at the airport are set to rise with the start of the August vacation. The statement read, "We believe that what is required is a solution to the serious inconvenience experienced by passengers, apart from the negative image of Spain that is being projected overseas, and the impact on the operation of airline companies due to the delays." ASITA warned that the security hold-ups are forcing some airlines to delay takeoff so as to wait for passengers caught in the long lines at airport security. Lobby group Airlines for Europe, A4E, said passengers arriving at airports in Spain, Portugal, France, Italy and Belgium are being forced to endure long waits to get through immigration. The group, which represents carriers including EasyJet, Ryanair and British Airways parent company EG, claimed some passengers are missing their flights because of the issue. A4E Managing Director Thomas Rennaert said passengers had been left devastated. He said, travelers face long lines and can't get on their flights. Queuing for up to 4 hours has been the top record these days. Airports like Madrid, Palma de Mallorca, Lisbon, Lyon, Paris Orly, Milan or Brussels are producing shameful pictures of devastated passengers in front of immigration booths, in lines stretching hundreds of meters. At some airports, flight delays have increased by 300% compared to last year. The organization warned the situation could worsen in the coming weeks as the new regulations have not yet been fully implemented. The 6-month period to put the enhanced checks in place ends on October 7. A spokeswoman for travel trade organization ABTA said, new, stricter passport checks are resulting in longer queues at some airports, including Palma, which is already busy due to a significant increase in passenger numbers. Tour operators will ensure that customers get to the airport in plenty of time so that they are not in danger of missing their flights. However, independent travelers will need to check the situation with their airlines and, where necessary, ensure they factor these longer queuing times into their travel plans when flying in and out of the airport. It is also extremely important that border control checkpoints are sufficiently resourced so that queuing times are kept to a minimum. Travelers at Barcelona's El Prat airport have faced further disruption in the past week amid unofficial strike action by security staff. ASITA, the Association of Spanish Air Transport Companies, said some airlines had to delay flights because many of their passengers could not board on time. The firm said since July 24 around 1,000 passengers had not made their flights. One Briton tweeted on Tuesday, 22 people were not allowed on flight home from Barcelona airport yesterday afternoon. Plane left most empty. Security queue.